All right, we got another Automobile Quarterly. This edition is volume 8, number 2. All right, so this one has to be pretty old. This is volume 8. So this one was produced from the fall of 1969. So yeah, a little bit different than the last one we looked at. Last one we looked at was in 80. Excuse me. The contents, we got Wild Thing, Ferrari GTB Impressions. We got Cristalli in Art, Adams Farewell. You see it and you still don't believe it. That sounds pretty interesting right there. The Mercury Renaissance, the incomparable Milton. The Ruxton, a superb automobile that never had a chance. Do I remember the Ruxton? Boy, do I remember the Ruxton. Well, I'm curious to see what is this Ruxton? Or Ruxton. Ruxton, 5 of the 500. The Goldie's Secret Weapon, TC Nostalgic Ramblings, and then Notes. So what is this Ruxton? 178. Look at the Grand Marquis convertible. Look at that. Now that's a sexy old car. Like a boat. 78. The Rux, a suburb automobile that never had a chance. There you go. That's what it looks like. Let's give it a quick read real quick because I'm curious. It was early 1929 when it appeared. Casually parked one blustery day in Midtown Manhattan. Even blazed New Yorkers were startled. The car was so low and sleek that it would have attracted attention anywhere. But one glance at its radiator badge and even the mildly curious were set to wondering. Emblazoned, there was not a name but a question mark. It would prove remarkably appropriate, for the car that began its life as the question mark would end it pretty much the same way. And the aura of mystery surrounding it will remain to this day. During its brief life, it would have been connected with such diverse automobile enterprises as Hupp, Peerless, Marmon, Jordan, Stutz, Gardner, Moon, and Kissel. And afterwards, historians would take to blaming it for the demise of some of those companies. But was this actually so? A new look into the facts is clearly in order. So we're looking at 1929, the 30s. Well, that's like right around the Great Depression. The stock market crashed. That makes sense. This is like, that had to have been an expensive, like, rich people car. And then the Depression came. It crashed. Makes sense to me. Oh, there it is. Look at the question mark. You see it? That's interesting. I did not know anything about this. I'm trying to, like, there's a lot to go into this Ruxtable. So this is the transmission. Now, like I said, it will take forever to read the entire thing. But what is this? What is this? But wait a minute. Eventually, Kissel turned to building outdoor motors, then torpedo parts during World War II, selling out to the West Bend Aluminum Company in 44. In 65, West Bend sold the plant and engine business to Chrysler Corporation, who continued to use the now much enlarged factory as headquarters for the Chrysler Outboard Corporation. But the most curious fate of all befell the Moon Company. It seemed simple enough at first. Receivership and final sale of the plant and property for $86,000 in 1935. But a decade earlier, Moon had won a judgment on the Pennsylvania courts, and the Philadelphia law firm continued to press for payment of the claim 4 decades earlier. Finally, they won. In 65, the Supreme Court awarded the defunct company $62,000, and after deducting legal fees, the receiver was directed to distribute to the 35 creditors on record the $26,000 remaining, a cash payment of 7 cents on the dollar. It had been 35 years since the last Moon left the factory. Well, that meant absolutely nothing. I apologize even for reading that. I learned absolutely nothing new. Don't know what they're talking about. Here, this is some, oh, here's the Ruffton specifications. Boom. So let's see how expensive this was back in the day. So this is a 4,000 pound car, 3,900 for the Roadster, 4,000 for the sedan. The wheelbase was 130 inches. The engine, everybody likes engine. Horsepower, 85 at 3,000 RPMs, 100 at 3,400 RPMs. I didn't go very fast. Production run, June to November 1930. Manufacturers were all the ones that we said. Moon Motor Car, St. Louis Motor, Kissel Motor, Hartford, Wisconsin, and under contract to the New Era Motors of New York City. The prices, right? $3,100, almost $3,200 for the sedan, and almost $3,200 for the Roadster. That's not that bad. Oh, they came out with models. They had the limousine, the town car, the cabriolet, the Phantom, the Roadster, and the sedan. And then we got some old geezer over here, or William Mueller reminisces. I don't know who that is. So it says, do I remember the Ruxton? Boy, do I remember the Ruxton. Here, let's see what he says. My Ruxton years made for one of the most frantic, expuritating periods of my life, and it also made for a pretty nice car, and I'll always be proud of. One I'll always be proud of. All right, it didn't tell me anything. I mean, there's a lot of writing in here, but it's, you know, no one cares. Let's just look at the pictures. Oh, look at that. The Ruxton 2. Kind of looks like Cruella DeVal's car, all right? Let's see what the Cruxton... Oh, look at that. That's a sexy one right there. Look at that one. That's the Ruxton right there. And then the old gangster, the limousine version. Oh, woo, look at this one. I would not mind that. Yeah, baby. Look at that. I like that one. Let me see. This is the most beautiful of all. Ruxton was the Phantom. This example was one of the most exquisite cars ever seen, and one of only two built. Was a personal car of W.L. Kissel. It is now in the collection of Russell Stotch. Russell, I'm going to have to get that from you, man. Look at that. That is beautiful.